One of Paul's problems is that a marathon is quite a big aim and hard to achieve. So to solve this, he could try and aim for a few slightly easier targets rather than one big one like the marathon. This will mean that he has lots of constant smaller goals to keep him motivated constantly to exercise. Whereas if he has one huge goal like the marathon, he might start to feel like it's impossible and give up because it's so far away and he's not getting any closer to it. Another problem is that his goal to get fitter is not very specific, and therefore he could set himself a goal of reducing his heart rate or blood pressure to a certain amount. This would mean that he'd be able to work there'd be something specific he can work towards, and he'd have a lot more motivation to go and exercise because he knew if he exercised, then his blood pressure and heart rate will go down rather than just getting fitter. He doesn't know. It's harder to judge if he's achieved his goals. And another goal that Paul could aim for would be to improve his strength. So, for example, he could start with a 5 kg weight and after a month try to be able to lift more like a 10 kg weight, for example. This will mean that he knows exactly what he needs to aim for and he has a clear view of what to work on in training and improve. Another problem is that his injuries and his drinking problem are blocking him from achieving his goals. To solve this, he could try to change his goals to something that will allow him to work back towards his original goals. For example, he could set his goals to stop drinking as much and to work on his injuries, like go to physio and stuff, before he sets the goal of being able to run a marathon or being able to be fitter. Because once he's knocked down the first few goals of the drinking and the injuries, then the goals of the marathon and getting fitter will become easier. Nutrition. Problem is that he only drinks 0 to 2 glasses of water a day. To solve this, he could buy a Hydrate motivational water bottle which has time markings on. This tells you what times that you need to drink and how much to drink. Therefore, it's much easier for Paul to track how much he has drunk, and he can easily reach his targets. This will mean that he will stay hydrated because his blood pressure will stay low, because he will have lower blood sugar levels because he's drinking water rather than fizzy drinks or coffees. He can keep this in a bottle, in his cup holder, in his car, or just round the house or on his desk. So therefore, it'll make him think not to buy another drink like a coffee or something. And he can buy this from Amazon for $6.95. Another solution could be for Paul to keep a hydration pH level chart in his wallet, so that when he goes to the toilet, he knows whether he needs to drink more water because of the colour of his urine. If his urine is yellow or orange, he will know he needs to drink more glasses of water. Whereas if his urine is a whiter colour, then he will know that he is fine and he has drunk enough water for the day, for up until that point, until he next goes to the toilet. Another problem with Paul's nutrition is that he doesn't eat enough of his 5 a day. He only has one. A solution could be to set up his phone so that he gets a notification every so often, like every few hours, telling him that he needs to have a piece of fruit or veg. This will mean that Paul is able to make sure that he gets his 5 a day every single day, giving him a much healthier and more balanced diet. Therefore, he'll be more full from the fruit and won't have to snack on other things like crisps and chocolate, which will lower his blood pressure. Physical health. Paul suffers from pain in his right knee. To solve this, Paul should go and see a physio or a knee specialist to get help or treatment for his injury. The physio will be able to give Paul exercises to do at home and work on the areas that are troubling him. This will free him up and he'll be more comfortable doing exercise. He likes to run a lot, and if the knee is troubling when he runs, he might not be motivated to go running, but if it is fixed, he'll want to go running and he'll enjoy it more because he won't be in pain. Another solution for Paul could be to buy some new running shoes which have more support in them. This will mean that there'll be less pressure on on his knee when he runs. Therefore, it shouldn't hurt as much, and he'll have less of a risk of injury, and therefore he won't have to limit the amount of running that he does. Running is important to Greg, and it is one of his main exercises, and therefore if he fixes his knee problem, he'll do that more, which is good. Another problem is that he's suffering from pain in his lower back. Solution could be to get Paul to do lots of stretches before and after he does exercise. He could also try and get a massage every other week so that his muscles and body fat are loose. This massage will help to relieve some of the tensions on the muscle in his back, therefore he's less likely to suffer from pain in the lower back. It would be good for Paul to relieve some of the pain in his back, because it's most important for Paul to prove his strength, because he is quite skinny, and if he has back problems then it will be tough for him to do strength exercises. One of Paul's problems to do with his lifestyle is that he drinks way too many units of alcohol a week. To solve this, he could attend an Alcohol Anonymous group, which would help him to cut down or give up alcohol, because at the moment he is drinking a ridiculous amount every week. This will help to lower his blood pressure, and he'll be more motivated to exercise because he won't be hungover on the weekends. Another way he could change is to go from way over the top on weekends and instead try to limit himself to one beer every other day, for example, instead. This will make it a bit easier for him to drop his alcohol levels eventually give up, but do this gradually, because he won't just go from drinking loads to none at all, which is quite tough. He'll gradually decrease the amount of units he drinks, making it easier to give up. Another problem is that Paul only gets 5 hours of sleep a night, so to solve this he could set out a plan for his evening of what he does every night. Paul should put this plan on his wall though, so he sticks by it every day and it gets stuck in his routine. He should put down not to drink caffeine or eat too close to when he goes to bed, and have a relaxing shower or bath half hour before he sleeps, and maybe read for 30 minutes every night to limit his screen time. Finally, Paul has problems with his physical activity because he's not a member of a sports club or a gym. To solve this, he could sign up to a local running club rather than running by himself. This will mean that Paul is more motivated to exercise, and therefore if it is cold or wet, then he will be motivated to go and run at a club rather than just running around the park or something. Another solution to this problem could be that Paul could sign up to a local gym or boxing club, because then he is more likely to try out different types of exercise. He might also meet some new people and make friends who also want to do sport and get fitter. This will allow him to become fitter and stronger, which is important because Paul needs to do work on other areas, not just aerobic exercise. If he meets new people, they can also influence each other to do exercise, and they will push each other on. Another problem is that Paul doesn't exercise on weekends, and to solve this, Paul should write out an exercise plan for himself and set up reminders on his phone or computer every day at the time he needs to exercise. He could write out in his plan that he is going to do 30 minutes of exercise at 4 p.m. every day. He could alternate each day between aerobic and strength exercises. This will help to improve his exercise levels and hopefully reduce his blood pressure and resting heart rate levels.